Welcome back to the Trail with Mushy, the Cowboy Cook. Today I've got a different kind of recipe. I'm going to start introducing some gluten-free recipes and some sugar substitute recipes. This recipe I did at the rodeo in Faison, North Carolina this past weekend at the Terra Creek Farm with Double Creek Rodeo Company. We cooked for both companies and had a great time. Had some rain on Saturday, but the rodeo went on. We had dinner ready at 11 o'clock like they requested. For dinner we had chicken fried pork steaks, green beans, red potatoes, a flat Indian bread, sopapilla, I think it's how you pronounce it. I've got a video coming up making that dish. And then for dessert, we had cherry cobbler, 2 of those, 1 cobbler that was cherry and apple, and then this recipe we're going to do now, or did then, is a gluten-free apple crisp. Remember my Amazon link down in the description. I still need qualifying purchases to become a Amazon affiliate, so please help me out, help the channel. It doesn't cost you anything if you're going to be purchasing from Amazon anyhow. With that, let's get into the video. Alright, for this apple crisp, I'm doing it gluten-free. We got a young lady who is gluten-free and we can accommodate for her, so we are. We have at the Lake Waccamaw show the Cowboy Cody, young man who was in one of my latest videos. He's gluten-free also, so we try and accommodate for him as well. And it gives me the opportunity to get into some gluten-free, sugar-free recipes for the channel. Just give you options. So for this apple crisp, I've got 3/4 of a cup of flour. You can use regular, self-rising, or the gluten-free. Today I'm using the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and 1 1/4 cups of old-fashioned oats. And then I've got melted 3/4 cup of butter. So I mixed all this together. Since we are catering, tonight what we are doing is chicken fried pork steaks, green beans, and mashed potatoes. And so the young lady will be able to eat the mashed potatoes and the green beans. She can't eat the chicken fried pork steaks like we normally fix it, which is we'll season it and flour it. But what we are going to do for her is take some of the meat, season it, and flour it with the Bob's Red Mill. And then that way she can eat everything we are serving. We are making another cobbler that she won't be able to eat, but she'll be able to have a full meal and dessert. So I'm going to mix this all up. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag for now. We're running low on bowls because obviously we've got quite a few people we're cooking for between the 3 of us. And cooking gluten-free, it's not a big diversion from what we do, and we want, like I said, everybody to participate, not only in the weekend show and stuff, but also the experience of eating off of a chuck wagon. So let me get this into a Ziploc bag and I'll be back and we'll put the rest of the recipe together. All right, now for the apple part, take 3 pounds of apples, either Honey Crisp or Granny Smith, peel them and dice them, tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 3/4 cups of brown sugar, half a teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/4 cup of butter. So I've got the apples here. When I peel them, I put them in water so they don't turn. And I went on and put 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of raisins. That wasn't in the recipe I found, but I do like raisins. And as you know, I always say, change the recipe to your liking. Because you're eating it, so make it yours. I'll come back in a minute, drain the water, and put the rest of the raisins in there. So to the apples, I'm going to take a teaspoon of cornstarch, and that's the thickener, as you probably know. And then 1 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Which I put brown sugar in the other, but and you know me, I don't mind doctoring up, adding a little extra flavoring to it. 1/2 a teaspoon of cinnamon. We do have cinnamon roll here this weekend. We've already mentioned another video or so. So I'll put a little extra cinnamon in for him. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, which I have shown you before, the really cool spice kit I bought, an old one, and came with a nutmeg grinder. So I'll grind some fresh nutmeg. And I know a number of y'all watch the YouTube channel Townsend and Son, and you know if you watch him, you know he loves nutmeg, so this is kind of a salute to him. He would love the recipe having a nutmeg in it. All right, a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, this is some of the vanilla I've made. I put together several months ago, and it is delicious. I talked about making the vanilla. Take a bean, split it, stick it in. I've got bourbon and vodka. This is from the vodka. Let it sit for about 3 months. If you smell it every couple weeks, you'll smell lots of alcohol at the beginning of the 3-month process, and towards the end of the process, you won't really smell alcohol. You'll smell more vanilla. So this 1/2 teaspoon measuring, I'll put in a sloppy teaspoon, a little extra, because I love it so much. You hear a lot of background noise. It's raining outside. We've got people in here under the shelter. Mosey and Muley back here cooking, trying to get dinner ready. Tonight, dinner has to be ready about 10:30 at night. They like to eat after the show, after they're done with this show. That's how it was in Benson. I mean, they don't want to be riding horses and working on a really full stomach. So we respect that. Give that a little mix. And then I've got 1/4 cup of butter. that softens. Just gonna mix that in. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the mixing and fishing out the raisins, but I will show you how we're going to put it together. Tonight I'm using a 12-inch Dutch oven, a deep one, but I lined it with aluminum foil. Some people don't believe in lining aluminum foil. If the cowboys had it, they would have used it, is our motto here on the chuck wagon. I sprayed it. The reason why I'm doing it is it's going to be so late when we're serving it that if all I have to do after we serve it is pull the aluminum foil out and the Dutch oven basically is clean. We've got other dishes we have to clean, and late at night, this just helps us quicken the process of shutting down for the evening. So all you do is put the apple mixture in and then sprinkle the topping on it. So let me put this together and we'll come back and get it on the fire. All right, so in my Dutch oven, I got this all mixed up. Raisins are an option. You can even do some pecans or other nuts. If you do nuts, I would put it in with the crisp itself. Otherwise, the nuts would probably be soggy. And as it cooks, it's going to release juices. In fact, there's some already in here. But just put it in your Dutch oven. And like I said, doctor it up all you want. And then just sprinkle your crisp mix, the oatmeal mix, over the top. If you want to, you can always put some more spices on it. I'm going to put a little more cinnamon. And that's it. Put it, if you're cooking it inside, 350 degrees for an hour. Same as on the, outside, but for those of you who want to do it, but inside, that's what you do. So we're gonna get this on the fire, get it cooking, and we'll come back and I'll show you when it's done. And if I have an opportunity to try it, I will, but I know it's gonna be good, but I will show you once it's done. And I'm pulling the oven off the fire. Now on that, I did not get a chance to taste it for you and show you as it was finished cooking. We were very busy. The cobblers we got done in plenty of time. The potatoes and the green beans were ready. Muley made that flatbread ahead of time. The meat we had, actually we had a good bit ready early, but not everybody as far as in the companies were done. They were still trying to feed the animals and get them settled in so they could come and eat dinner. And then the crews went back out to start breaking down the all the gates and fences, and then load up the animals, and the animals headed out that night. But I can attest, It was very good. The young lady at Gluten Free enjoyed it. I tried it a little bit later as people had gone through the line, and apples were done perfectly. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I had it for breakfast the next morning and then brought it home and heated it up and enjoyed the rest of it. So give it a try. Like I said, I'm going to do some more videos using gluten-free flour, and as well as a sugar substitute, especially since we're going to be doing some catering. We have like I said in the video, we have 2 people now that we cook for that are gluten-free. And whenever you cook for people, especially like that you are cooking for specifically, and you know if there's any restrictions. And for us, and for me personally, I really want to give this young boy and the young lady the experience of eating off of a chuck wagon. I don't want them to feel like they can only eat the food that they brought with them to the event. I want them to actually eat what we are eating. In fact, the chicken fried pork steak, I floured it with the gluten-free flour and seasoned it just like we did the rest of the chicken fried pork steaks. And then I floured and seasoned hers, and then cooked it separately. She could eat the rest of the items and then had a dessert for her. So all went well. Recipe turned out great. Had a great weekend. I've got some more videos of what went on there and some other recipes that we did down there. So those will be coming out soon. In the meantime, if you like videos like this, please subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, I'm still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours by sometime in July. Still a long ways down the trail. Share it with friends, share it with anybody, everybody. Like it, and of course, ring the bell, and Mushy the Cowboy Cook. We'll see you down the trail.